Before Maria, we were. Before Maria, we stood powerless as galloping unemployment, grinding poverty, disappearance of the middle class, rising crime, and degradation of social services slapped us in the face day after day. Before Maria, we were the smallest and weakest economy in the independent states of the English-speaking Caribbean. Before Maria, St. Kitts employed 24,500 people at a minimum wage of $1,200 per month. Its population of 54,000 people, compared to 22,000 employed at a minimum wage of less than $700 per month in Dominica, with a population of 72,000. Before Maria, we were the third most cancerous nation in the world. Before Maria, we had a spiraling non-communicable disease epidemic. Before Maria, we had lost over half of our agricultural output in the last 2 decades. Before Maria, we were burdened with the biggest brain drain in the Caribbean per capita. Before Maria, government could not facilitate the private sector as the main engine of economic growth. It could not enhance the climate for doing business and creating jobs. Before Maria, we depended a lot. We deposited a lot of money in the banks, but could not convince the bank to lend enough money from those deposits for productive purposes. Before Maria, government could not diversify from traditional agriculture into non-traditional crops, promotion of exports, and increase in value added. Before Maria, government could not enhance the tourism product and increase its income earning capacity. Before Maria, government could not facilitate a reduction of energy costs so as to achieve a reduction of electricity tariffs and thereby secure an increase in the competitiveness and viability of business operations. Before Maria, there was no international airport and no cruise ship village for Maria to destroy. We had neither. On September 18th, 2017, Maria came. It tore into Dominica with devastating effect. Category 5 winds churned across the country for more than 3 hours as intense rainfall triggered flash floods and landslides. The economy and lives of citizens took a severe beating. As of November 8th, 2017, 30 persons had lost their lives, 26 identified and 4 unidentified. 34 were declared missing. 5,000 homes were destroyed, and over 20,000 suffered damages. Thousands were left to seek refuge overseas. A significant proportion of the labor force was left unemployed as an immediate consequence of Maria, with estimates that the decline in the production of goods and services may continue for years. The post-Maria needs assessment concluded that Hurricane Maria resulted in total damages of 2.5 billion EC dollars and losses of 1 billion EC, which amount to 226% of the 2016 gross domestic product, GDP. The identified recovery needs for reconstruction and resilience interventions, incorporating the principle of building back better, where possible, amount to 3.7 billion EC dollars. Without a doubt, Madam Speaker, the climb to resilient Dominica is steep, it will be long, it will be painful. We had lives to mend, people to shelter, bodies to feed, a broken society to heal, farms to replant, an economy to fix, roadways and bridges to rebuild, health, education, and utility services to restore, and so much more. How did we respond? Our brothers and sisters at home and abroad, the international aid agencies and disaster relief organizations, the development cooperation partners, and the entire global family of countries, people, and governments represented by the United Nations rallied with empathy, purpose, and commitment to assist us in this time of severe humanitarian crisis. Again, we thank them all. We were blessed with courageous, dedicated efforts above and beyond the call of duty from patriots at home and abroad, as well as individuals and organizations from neighboring countries and distant lands to secure a new, improved Dominica. We make special mention of the government and people of China, the government and people of Venezuela, government and people of Cuba, the government and people of the United Kingdom, and all those who rallied to our assistance. We thank them all. Much has been accomplished, but much more remains to be done. And we, Madam Speaker, would have been much further along the recovery road if, instead of paying lip service to the truth that we cannot do it alone, government had, in the spirit of good democratic governance, allowed all ideas to contend and all hands to be on deck. Parliamentarians, representing over 40% of the electorate in a parliamentary democracy, were completely shut out of the state's relief, recovery, and reconstruction program, funded by the voluntary contributions and tax dollars from Dominica and the rest of the world. Parliament, the country's highest decision-making body, was completely sidelined to facilitate partisan vote-catching antics. No inclusiveness, no unity of purpose. Instead, we further divided what was not united. And as a result of the failure to provide sound democratic governance leadership for Dominica's post-disaster management responsibility, to date, unity of purpose has eluded us and much has fallen apart. Food aid was not distributed fairly, equitably, and transparently to all citizens based on need and according to the levels of their need. In the past week, large quantities of relief supplies that expired either in containers at the port of entry or in the stores of the Office of Disaster Management were dumped. Relief supplies, livelihood restoration grants, and housing recovery assistance paid for by taxpayers at home and abroad were commandeered as the property of the Dominica Labour Party and distributed.
I said to you that you cannot impute improper motive. This is what you are doing. That entire sentence, please withdraw it and move on.
Withdrawn. Thousands of tons of relief supplies were backed up at the main port of entry, while needy citizens struggled to find food. Leadership and management performance fell well short of the daily reports and promises painting a rosy picture. Thousands lost hope and left. The story, though, is how wonderfully well the government did. We even heard, Madam Speaker, a quote from economist Alan Greenspan, the former chairman of the United States Federal Reserve Board, which can be found in his book, The Age of Turbulence. According to the Prime Minister, Mr. Greenspan warns us that a government can take a country so far, so fast, that very soon the citizens forget how far they have come in how short a time and start demanding more than the government can reasonably or possibly deliver. Mr. Greenspan, of course, is operating in the frame of reference of the United States of America. If he was addressing the situation in Dominica before the arrival of Maria on September 18, 2018, the former Fed chairman would probably have said, a government can take a country so far back, so fast, that very soon the citizens realize how far back they have come in how short a time and start demanding more and more that the government must go.